and welcome back to the YouTube studio here at the Berlin Global Dialogue. I'm Jack Kelly from TLDR News, and I'm joined by Pilar Manchón, who is the Senior Director of Research Strategy at Google AI. Very nice to have you here.
Thank you. Very nice to be here.
We've heard a lot of talk about AI recently, and there's been a fair bit of fear-mongering about the new technology and the evolution in technology, which is something that happens every time that new technology emerges. There's a bunch of fear-mongering, and then it progresses from there. And I'm curious whether you think that's going to be the same process this time round, or if AI is different and these fears are well placed.
Well, AI is a little different because it's a different kind of technology that accelerates everything. And because of that, I guess that all these other times where this has happened before, it's a little more enhanced in a way. But I think that as we grow into the era of AI and we educate people and there is more transparency and there's more tools, it will become an everyday thing that people understand better. And when you understand something, then you lose the fear.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of talk about regulation at the moment and how we kind of regulate AI. What do you think the best strategies are there while maintaining the kind of benefits and the advantages of AI?
Well, that's the key, hitting the right balance, right? We have to regulate, but we also have to regulate well to make sure that we don't impair innovation. So right now, AI is going to have an enormous impact on almost everything. Every business, every industry, every area of science. So it needs to be regulated, but it needs to be done well. So the best approach is to create multidisciplinary teams that can analyze the challenges and the opportunities equally from a very diverse perspective, so as to come up with enough regulation so that we mitigate the risks, but not too much so that we impair innovation.
And speaking about the innovation and the opportunity, how excited do you think we should be about this? What are the core opportunities and advantages that you see at this stage?
I think we should be super excited. We are at the verge of a new revolution. I like to say that we are in a new renaissance because what AI does is empowering all kinds of people from anywhere in the world to use their creativity or their knowledge to do things, do more, do things faster in a way that we've never seen before. So I think that there's going to be a little explosion of creativity, innovation, breakthroughs, new sciences, new fields, new things like we've never seen before. And we're only witnessing that. We're part of that. So I think it's a very exciting moment to be alive and a very exciting moment to be a young person with, your future ahead of you and all the different things that you're going to see and do and how things are going to be moving so fast. Very exciting.
And you mentioned the global implications of this. And when we're looking at kind of regulation and kind of moderating AI in some ways, obviously the global side of that is important. The decisions that one country make impacts another. So how important do you think global cooperation on this issue actually is?
It is critical. The reality is that we have different geographical areas in the world, different countries, different perspectives, different types of regulation, and that's just a fact that we have to live with. But I think that we should find a way to align at least on major issues in a similar way where in the past we have aligned on human rights or things that are important enough to create global organizations to understand what AI is, the normal or the basic regulation that you have to have about it, and all the different elements like infrastructure and data and so on.
Absolutely. And do you think the politicians are already paying enough attention to this, or is it something they have to focus on more in the future in order to get it right?
Well, I think that there are a lot of good intentions, and I think there is a lot of talk about AI. So I think that we just need to help them be better informed so that when decisions are made, they're made with enough information, enough data, and enough work behind those decisions to do the right thing.
And are there any in particular countries or regions you think are doing this particularly well? Are there countries you look at as like the roadmap that ought to be followed, or is it kind of a more hybrid approach?
I think that it's hard to see which one is doing best. I think that, for instance, I am an advisor to the government of Spain and working on the AI Act and so on, and I think that the EU approach is reasonable. and we still need to iterate and so on. And I think that also the US is following suit and is having conversations with all the large companies and all the different thought leaders in the space to ensure that they're trying to do the right thing. So I think that's at least the right path.
Absolutely. Now, Google themselves, you're working on a new kind of AI model that's being released soon, Gemini. What can you tell us about that at this stage? And also what safety and kind of security implications are being considered when developing that internally?
Well, I can only tell you that Gemini is yet another large language model that is also natively multimodal and is aimed at is much better than anything we have released before. So I think there is good reason to be excited about it. And in terms of safety, we've learned a lot from all the releases that we have done and from all the different international discussions that are happening right now, not only between the different members of the industry, but also in academia. So and together with the AI principles that we follow and our own governance internal to the company on the different committees that we have and so on, I'm pretty confident that what we are going to do is going to be not only impactful, but safe for the public.
Absolutely. And finally, at the Ecosystems 2030 Summit earlier this year, you commented that the industry should go fast but calmly. Do you think that Google is achieving that? And how are you able to balance those two things against each other?
Well, that's the key thing, right?
Yeah.
Finding that balance is not always easy, especially when you live naturally in an environment where researchers want to go and to want to go faster and want to go farther, and especially when you get very excited because you know what's behind that, right? But because of this governance processes and this multidisciplinary approach, we have the right checks and balances in place to kind of have the energy and the desire to move fast, but the maturity to take it slowly enough to do the right thing and responsibly.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your insight. It's really exciting, as you say.
Thank you.
Thank you.